Last year, we compiled a list of the 50 best coasters that were opening in 2023. Now that this year is coming to a close and 2024 is right around the corner, it is time to compile a list for the 50 best coasters opening up next year. There is a lot of coasters to cover, so this video will be covered in two parts. The first 25 will be this week, and the top 25 next week right before the new year starts. We are judging these decisions based on the layouts and how we expect it to ride based on other installations of these models or other conditions such as theming. Of course, since all of these coasters are yet to open, these results are in no way final or correct, and it's just our prediction of where it will land, so don't get too mad. But anyways, we have a lot of content to cover, so let's just get straight into the video. First off, we have some honorable mentions. There was actually quite a huge number of coasters opening this upcoming year, and we have a handful of small family coasters that quite didn't make the cut. These coasters are not ranked 51, 52, or 53, they are just more well-known coasters that I had to mention. So first off, we have Snoopy's Tender Paw Twister Coaster. This replacement of Timberline Twister looks to be a somewhat necessary improvement, but I don't think it is an impactful addition as some people think it is. Hot Wheel Bone Shaker is a very interesting family coaster coming to Mattel Adventure Park. Daddy's Pig's Roller Coasters are coming to the new Peppa Pig theme park in Texas, and is mainly here because of how much of a meme it has become throughout the community. And last is Choco Chip Creek, which seems to be a very well thought out and long Vekoma mine train. So starting out our actual list, in the 50th spot is an unknown Maurer Spike coaster coming to Nickelodeon Universe in China. This coaster was actually in our list last year, but the park did not open on time, and now we have it as a prospective 2024 opening. As you will see, this is going to be a common trend throughout the remainder of this video and next week's, but it does make the rankings a bit more competitive. Hope for this park in China was pretty much lost until they resumed construction just last week, so here it is, back on the list. There's not much information about this coaster, just that it has a green track, so that's why it's so far down this list. In the 49th and 48th spot is a pair of Intamin surf riders. The first one is Mikey's Half Pipe, which is coming to the Nickelodeon Universe Park that we just talked about. And the other is Flash Speed Force at Warner Brothers Movie World. Flash sits right in the heart of Superman's layout, which is a really cool setting. Something that I found funny was that this coaster was constructed, deconstructed, and then reconstructed, and now has elephants in the track, so it should be good to go for a 2024 opening. Next up in the 47th spot is the Mach-powered coaster coming to Europa Park. This coaster is not exactly amazing, but the theming absolutely saves it. Already from the concept art, it looks like a really cool ride. Force-wise, not amazing, maybe some wind and some laterals, but if the end result looks anything like the design, then boy oh boy am I excited for this coaster. In the next couple of spots are a handful of Vekoma family boomerangs. There are a bunch of them opening up next year, in fact there are 8 of them, so here's how I would rank them from worst to best. The Vekoma family boomerang coming to Oriental Heritage and the 3 coming to Phantom Wild Parks all take up the back end. These are all the 208 rebound models, so they end up just here. Snoopy's Soapbox Racers is up next. This is also a 208 model, but we actually get to see what that theming looks like, and it looks very good for a Cedar Fair park, so it ends up here. Good Gravy is up next. This family boomerang is a custom layout and has some interesting theming and super goofy trains. Continuing on with the boomerangs, we have the one coming to Emerald Park. This boomerang is going to interact with an SFC and looks to have some really cool theming. The last Vekoma family boomerang is the one coming to Warner Bros. Movie World. This is a dueling set with good theming, so that is why it ends up on the top of the Vekoma family boomerangs. Overall, this model is a super versatile one and a unique family coaster, so no wonder it is being constructed across the globe year after year. Back to our regularly scheduled programming, in the 38th spot is Shredder. This is an Intamin family spinner that we don't know too much about. I assume this is going to be something along the lines of Shredder at American Dream, just made by Intamin instead of Gerstlauer, so it should be a pretty solid family coaster if it's pulled off correctly. Up next is the Maurer Spinner Coaster coming to Wonderland Amusement Park. This is a relocation of Twister from Hamptorland and is a clone of Windja's. All these Maurer Spinners look to be really cool and fun rides and very solid family coasters. The next coaster in the 37th spot is also one of these Maurer clones. This one is going to Sonic Central Tourism City. This is going to be a brand new spinner, but still a clone of Windja's, so it's bound to be better than a relocation. In the 36th spot is the Vekoma Suspended Family Coaster coming to Warner Brothers Movie World in Australia. This is located in the same area as the dueling family boomerangs, but will not interact with the other coasters. From the concept art, the theming looks really cool with amazing rockwork and a sick castle, and best of all, the ride looks to pull some decent forces. Next up in the 35th spot is Aquaphobia, and yes, I really did just call it that. I gotta support Runier and all my haters in the Airtime Thrills Discord. I really hope Aquaphobia gets chosen as a name because it's a good one, but you can't go wrong with Georgia Surfer. Anyways, this is the first ever Intamin Ultra Surf. Essentially, it's a Mach Power Splash mixed with an Intamin Surf Rider. It should be a pretty cool addition to Six Flags Over Georgia. In the 34th spot is Fire in the Hole. This is a coaster that looks incredibly good from the work being done on it. Silver Dollar City is really killing it with this one. Essentially, it's being turned into a dark ride powered coaster, and honestly, I am all for it. RMC, onboard audio, and dark ride just sounds like a recipe for success. I really think this ride has high potential, but I can't rank it any higher because its competition is starting to get fierce. Next up in the 33rd spot is Gozimba. This is a super unique first of its kind coaster made by Ride Engineer Switzerland. Essentially, it's a Gerstlauer Skyfly mixed with a coaster, so this definitely has high potential to be really good. In the 32nd spot is Penguin Trek. This is a B&M launch sit-down family coaster coming to SeaWorld Orlando. I made a whole video talking about this coaster and it seems like a very interesting addition for SeaWorld. They definitely needed a family coaster, but B&M is a very interesting choice for the manufacturer. Nevertheless, with the dark ride section and everything, it looks to be very promising. And the 31st spot is Jungle Rush. This is like a ride that is very similar to Big Bear Mountain, which was definitely a success this past year. Admittedly, I do not know much about this coaster, so I'm going off entirely by RCDB stats. It brags 12 airtime moments, which if true would be absolutely amazing. The coolest aspect though is the fact that it has an incline turntable. You guys will have to tell me in the comment sections down below if any other coaster does this, but I think it's the only one. This coaster really is a full package. It goes backwards and forwards and has show segments, so definitely my type of attraction, and overall a very well-rounded family coaster. Bobcat is up next, and this is the first addition to touch Six Flags Great Escape in 18 years. This is definitely a much-needed addition to this park and should fit the lineup pretty well. This is a family woody, but if we know anything about Gravity Group, they have perfected this type of coaster. Switchback and Oscar's Wacky Taxi are prime examples of what Gravity Group can do with family woodies, and Bobcat looks to be the best out of the three. In the 29th spot is Ziegel Blitz. This is a Gerstlauer bobsled, which is a very well-rounded model to begin with. The Gerstlauer bobsled is the best iteration of a Wild Mouse, and it rides really well. Ziegel Blitz also looks to have some minimal theming around a brick factory, which is pretty funny. I can't find any concept art, but so far this looks like a very well-rounded family coaster. Next up in the 28th spot is Fjord Explorer. This is a mock water coaster coming to Le Pau in France. This has the potential to be the best mock water coaster on the planet. We know it for sure has a 90-degree bank turn, which will be pretty cool no matter what speed it is taken at, but besides that, it has a pretty average layout, so we'll see how good this really is when it opens. Our first extreme coaster to make this list ends up in the 27th spot. This title belongs to Wienfeld, a Gerstlauer Eurofighter. This looks to be a very basic Eurofighter is why it finds itself so far down the list. It has less than 1,000 feet of track and a top speed of only 45 miles per hour. Nevertheless, it still manages to pack in a beyond vertical drop and 2 inversions. Despite its short length, it should be a very solid addition to Tivoli Friarden. The last coaster of this video is Phoenix Rising at Busch Gardens Tampa. This is a B&M family invert to be added to the same park as Montu. It is a very expensive and very high profile project for SeaWorld, so I'm hoping the best for them. This looks like a very well-rounded ride and attractive to someone like me who appreciates theming. We get the entire package with this coaster, including onboard audio. It is interesting that SeaWorld chose B&M as the manufacturer of choice, but like Penguin Trek, SeaWorld just really likes working with B&M. Or who knows, maybe they could have some kind of crazy deal going on in the background. Phoenix Rising probably costs as much as the top-of-the-line extreme coasters, but Busch Gardens is correct for investing into a family coaster because that is what brings in the cash. So that's all for today's video, guys. Here are the first 25 coasters out of 50 that are opening in 2024, ranked. As I said in the intro, these rankings are predictions, so do not take it as the correct opinion or even close to that. In fact, let me know how you would change the list in the comment section down below. I love to hear your thoughts. Make sure to tune in next week as we have a lot of fun extreme coasters to cover, and as always, make sure to like and subscribe, join the Discord, link in the description. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Happy holidays, and goodbye.